Hi everybody. Today I was going to try and make a video about appreciating the weather outside, the chill in the air, Christmas time on the way, holiday season and all that. Like every single thing I tried failed, so we're doing this instead. I have a I have a story that I'm not proud of, but it's kind of funny, so I think it's okay. So years ago, I think I was still in high school, maybe even junior high. Me and my scouting troop went on a hike to a place called Kings Peak, which is the tallest mountain, or like the highest peak in Utah. So we there was only a small group of us. It was me and I think three other guys. I think it was just the four of us and then two leaders that came with us. We went to hike the peak, and it was a 4 day hike, and it's one of the most beautiful hikes ever. The first 30 minutes, I was winded and had no idea how I was going to do the full hike because that is the trail wasn't even sloped up yet. We just had huge freaking backpacks. Uh, but as it turns out, that was the level of exhaustion I plateaued at, and I was just that exhausted the whole time, which you got used to, so it was whatever. We hiked for 4 days up, and a lot of beautiful things, a lot of just stuff you wouldn't see outside of a Lord of the Rings movie or something. And then the night we hiked at the peak, we hiked up to the summit. It was beautiful. Met some people that were really cool. There was someone that had a 20-foot long antenna that was standing up there with a radio, connecting with people all over the world. Apparently it's a hobby, radioing people, which I thought was pretty cool. So something that I have a habit of, or at least I did when I was younger, is I really don't like using the bathroom in nature. If I ever go camping, go on a hike, I just won't use the bathroom until we get back. And usually that's not an issue because when you get back, you like you only go for a day before you go back home. And I don't mind peeing so much. If I really have to pee, I'm cool doing that. But pooping, well, I don't love doing that in nature. And so after 4 days of it, I hadn't pooped once for the full 4 days. And then on the way back, I felt there was crampage in my stomach. And so I started panicking a little because I was with the vanguard. I know because there was three leaders then, because this I forgot about this leader. Me, one of the other guys, and then this leader wanted to just get back to the car stat. We didn't want to take any breaks on the way down. We wanted to just beeline it and get down as fast as possible. So we almost did that. We hiked for 4 hours, I think, down, and we were 30 minutes to an hour away from the parking lot when it breached containment. Between all the jostling of walking up and down and the weird angle my body was at to compensate for my backpack, it was there was no it was no longer an option to wait until I got back home to poop. So at this point, I'd never pooped outside before because I'd always held it when we went went camping, or at least there was like an outhouse that I could use. But I've never pooped out just in nature before. So, due to the nature of how I had my stuff on, I could get my backpack off easily, but I had a lot of stuff tied to like my body, like through my belt loops and like around my jacket. Like it was there was just a lot of stuff, and so I took my backpack off. I walked a few feet. I know, like maybe like 20 feet out into the woods because they were pretty thick. Where there was a river that was kind of loud, which was nice. It was a big river as well, and so I went up against a tree, and squatted, and then proceeded to poop. The issue though was that I due to the fact that like all the stuff I had tied around me, I couldn't do like a perfect squat, and then that on top of the fact that I didn't know like what a perfect squat was for like pooping, like I didn't have my legs at a right angle at all. So I ended up defecating into my underwear, which was around my ankles. And there was a lot. Uh, now I I didn't know the texture or like the consistency of poop. Like in my mind, because I've shoveled like dog poop, and like I've seen like horse and cow poop, which I guess actually isn't a great example and should have tipped me off to how my poop consistency was. Because it was like in my mind, I was like, if I pick it up, it'll just be like a clump of dirt, and then I could just throw it. So I spent like 2 minutes, which is a long time for someone that's half naked with poop in their underwear in the middle of the woods with two other people waiting on him. Uh, and I reached into something I had tied to my belt, which was like my like camping kit. It was just a little fish net with like a foldable like pan that's like a really small like foldable pan with like some like a fork and a bowl that like it was built into the pan. Like it's like it could fit in the palm of my hand, but it had a whole bunch of stuff. And one of the things it had was a like a sponge kind of. It was like a somewhere in between a sponge and a napkin. It was like a foam napkin, I guess, and it was like bright yellow. And so I ripped that out of the bag because I couldn't get the bag open. And the idea was I was going to just scoop out the poop and then wipe me bum, and that would be it. So I started with the wiping of my bum, and the poops, we can say, were not at all crisp. They were very moist because when I wiped my bum, it the thing I was using to wipe was completely coated in schmutz. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing that again because there's only room for like one more wipe anyway. And in my mind, I was like, if this is dirty, then I can't pick the poop up. So I used the clean part to pick the poop up from my underpants. But that stuff was squishy. And like pretty much the second I grabbed it, it just like melted all over my underwear and all over the freaking wiper. So I I kind of just tried scooping out the schmutz from my underpants with the wiper, but that just smeared it even more into my underpants. And at this point, there was nothing left to do. The poop was all over my butt and all over my underpants, and the only thing I had any hope of cleaning it with was completely covered in schmutz. So and I'm not proud of this, and I wish I didn't do it, but I was panicking because I didn't know where to put it. I threw the wiper in the river. I know. I feel out of all the events, that's one I feel bad about. But as like a 14-year-old kid, I didn't want to store a poop rag with anything else I was carrying, and I didn't have anywhere else to put it. I should have just kept it in my pants, to be honest. I could have tucked it into my underwear and at least had a layer between the poop schmutz on my butt and the poop schmutz on the underwear. Had a rag. I don't know. Anyway, which I didn't do it, but I did. That's the price I pay, I guess, for trying to poop in the woods. So at this point, I just pull my pants back up and accept the fact that I pretty much pooped myself, like severely. We hike the rest of the way down and take a nap in the parking lot, and then the time for the car comes, and me and two of the other guys and two of the leaders, so it's a full car, get in one car, and the whole time I am petrified that I'm going to stink up the car. And I was the weird shy kid that no one really hung out with and like liked at all. And so I knew everybody, if they smelled poop, they were going to think it was me, especially because I like used the bathroom and two of the people in the car like knew that happened. So I was horrified of that. So during the drive back, I rolled the window down, and it was pretty cold. And some of the other kids were like complaining and wanted me to roll it up. And I told them that I was getting motion sick and that I feel like I could throw up at any second. And that solved it. And they didn't complain after that. So we drove for like, I don't know, like an hour or two, and then we got to Rancheritos, which I don't. If anyone doesn't know what that is, man, I'm coughing and then yawning a lot. It's just a Mexican restaurant, like a really like the whole like they're open 24/7. They make huge portions of food and they're like pretty cheap, so it's like not like a high class one, just like a quick one. Well, we went in when people. I don't remember how I did it. I guess there was just a really opportune moment. I managed to grab a pair of fresh underwear from my bag while no one was like looking and no one noticed. And so I shoved that into like my jacket pocket, and then we went in and I just beelined it for the bathroom. I was like, "There's no way that like this is not getting resolved right now." So I went in and just stripped naked from the waist down, just completely standing in there. And it was like a single stall, like it was a locked door. It wasn't like a public restroom, luckily for me. But I spent like 20 or 30 minutes like getting paper towels wet, using toilet paper, and just cleaning the crap out of myself, like literally. And I threw the underwear away. I didn't even take that home. I just tossed them in the bin and was like, "This is a relic of a time I don't want to remember." Uh, yeah, I cleaned myself up, got out, and because I said I was sick earlier, no one was too, I think, bothered that I took so long. I was just like, I don't feel sick anymore. I'm good. Then I had a burrito, and that was that. So that's the story of the time I freaking pooped myself on a camping trip. And I wonder why I wonder why the other boys in the troop never wanted to be friends with me. Well, I think that'll do it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.